Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another stream of EU4, where I'm gonna talk about the world conquest that I finished by the year 1538. So let's start recording. Best part of my day where I talk to myself and try to remember what I did. And well, it's not to myself. It's for the 16 people that watch it here on Twitch, and for the handful of people that actually interact with me while I'm talking to myself. So it's not all for nothing. So again, I'm at the moment I'm at what you're seeing is war against the Oirat and Caradel. I need to go. The Oirat was my tributary, but since I'm having issues with coalitions, I need to. That regiment is lost. Ooh. But like I was saying, I need to go all the way to Crimea to grab some truces, kill some dudes. At the very least, grab some truces. Of course, I'm gonna take as much land as I possibly can from them. So let's speed this up a bit. So we're watching these at 3 times the normal speed. The base footage was already going at 200%. Basically, this is always the same thing. Win wars as fast as possible by taking the forts and carpet sieging as fast as possible. If possible, also annihilate their armies so that they don't go give me war exhaustion, etc. I'm gonna end up doing a double piece. Like I said yesterday, I declared war on Caradel on purpose to bypass the alliances from the Oirat, and Caradel is a 1 province minor, so I won't need much war score to annex them. I probably won't even annex them, if I recall correctly. I'll let them leave just to eat Chagatai or something, probably. Unless I'm confusing these with another run. Like I said, this I tried to beat this record 3 times. This went through several iterations. So again, I'm using the I removed some states from China in order to be able to use the edict, the feudal de jure edict, to try to avoid the rebellions. This of course is costing me money, especially if this makes me go above my force limit, and it did. It's something that I'm gonna have to endure if I don't want to deal with the zombies. But I don't need to deal with that. I don't need to have that active for very long. Just enough time for the rebel progress of the faction to reset the rebel progress. No, go back to 0. Then I'll ditch the states until when they're about to spawn again. I'll do the same thing. It's a bit of work, of micro, but it beats fighting zombies in my opinion. Hello Yuri. Nope, this is 1.24. Looks like it's time for me to piss out someone. In the meantime, I've been improving relations with people that have as aggressive expansion, like Brunei. Try to prevent them from joining a coalition, because even though I have a shit ton of tributaries, I don't want to ditch them to get rid of the aggressive expansion, because for the most part it would be almost useless, because I'm generating so much aggressive expansion that it wouldn't fix it. So I'm checking the I checked the ledger for briefly to see the progress of the Hindu religion, you know, to see how close the Hindu religion was to being dominant. The moment the Hindu religion becomes dominant, the only thing that I need to do is to put a missionary on a Hindu province that had no unrest. But after the missionary is placed there, it will have some unrest, and the rebels will be Hindus, Hindu zealots. This is a bit fast, I think. Maybe I'm more tired today. This is already at twice the speed. Lots of action going on. If these have less action, I'll speed it up. I'm gonna speed it up just slightly, actually. The speed is a bit slow, but 3 times the speed, it's probably a bit too much. Right, I need to take that fort, that's why I'm assaulting. There's a much more effective way to do the assaults, but I didn't care with it. It worked. Actually, I want to put a link to a great video about the assault by Bly 8, if I can find it. I highly recommend it. There you go. Okay, you see the team is being completely wrecked by rebels and by every single one of their neighbors, basically declared on them. Oh, that was almost it for Orissa. They're down to one province minor. Trying to take as much as possible from them. Dosh. Okay, the rebel faction was reset, so I've cancelled that state. Doing the same over there. And here. One thing that I often did was to let the... I don't know if it was the case right now, but was to let the rebel faction progress go to 0 in all factions. And that was close enough. Most of them are at 20. Before taking more overextension. Of course, I took a shit ton of overextension, so it would be worth the waiting. At some point I remember that I had like 800 overextension. And almost done. I'm just eagerly awaiting for the capital, to take the capital from the Oirad. Without it, I probably cannot demand as much stuff as I want. So I need that capital. And now they have no armies, so... they're totally willing to... They'll be totally willing to give me 100% war score after I... War for provinces, after I take their capital. So, time to go beat up this guy again. Probably this time around they'll end up as vassals, but I'm not... I'm pretty sure they will. But we'll see. They're one province minor, and I need another one. Wanna do another double piece. Because Malwa was guaranteeing them. So... this is gonna be sweet. I grab my vassal, and most likely... And I probably annex Malwa. Oh, I must be asleep. PJ was probably allied with him, so this is even better. So I bypass the truce, and I can take another chunk off of them. Yes, I'm gonna do a double piece on one of them. I'm not sure, probably Malo, but I'm not 100% sure because I also have VJ there. Not sure, don't remember. Did double piece on one of them for sure. That's the case. Hello, Simon. Welcome. Any plans about the new DLC? Nope. That's not 100% true. Yesterday it was 100% true. Today, while I was doing a run, I was thinking what I should do next for EU4 with regard to EU4. I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Never played, for example, in Japan. Probably gonna play in Japan. Not gonna play Great Britain. It's overpowered. I never played as Great Britain, but it's completely overpowered for me and it would be totally boring. I'm not gonna play in Ireland because I already played in Ireland. I made videos to how to beat Great Britain at normal difficulty, at very hard difficulty. I did a whole campaign as an Irish miner, played I don't know how many hours. Not gonna redo that just because a new expansion is out. There's nothing there that justifies it. It's just a flavor. It's a flavor patch. Another religion, and maybe some other day. Hello. Your names are very difficult to pronounce. It's my turn. Okay. Hello, and Emery. Welcome. And Thomas. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. So, and same thing, you know, there's not much here to comment. I'm just, for example, over there in Mongolia, I'm just making sure they want to recruit more troops, so I have to have them 100% occupied. Because it's not their turn yet to be annexed, so I have to keep them occupied at 100% so that they don't recruit more troops and start creating problems. Looks like those 3 regiments are mercenaries or something. That's why I'm probably doing these. Not sure, probably. Mercenaries. Alright, I declared another war. Do that damn it, I don't remember the name of that country now. That's just peachy. Oh, that guy near Manchuria. He also stopped being a tributary and truce was up. Time for them to pay for being disloyal. Kurshin. These guys were all tributaries, but at some point I needed to whatever reason, I ended up fighting them or I ended up releasing them. Sometimes the tributaries ally someone with whom I am about to fight, so it's pretty annoying. So, as like I said before, I'm trying to keep everyone on a true strimer. Because I don't want to deal with coalitions. And I'm trying to use my military as effectively as possible to acquire more land. The considerations are, the first one right now is to become Hindu, but I cannot forget that I'm conquering very fast and generating a shit ton of aggressive expansion. So in the back of my mind, or as a more than actually the back of my mind, is always present whenever I make a decision, is will this create a coalition for me? How can I avoid it? And so on. So that's very important when we expand very fast, or else we end up like we end up fighting a a gigantic coalition for nothing. Oh, IMT come back. All right. I remember. How much of an impact does the ducat cap have on one tag, specifically this one? Asks Skilling 1997. I mean, it's annoying for sure, because it's totally uncalled for. I mean, as a player, I don't recall the last time that I went bankrupt. I mean, this campaign I went bankrupt, especially, how can I say it? And I never go bankrupt in my campaigns. This one was an exception, for example. This campaign was an exception because it's highly... I try to grab every single bit of edge or of an advantage. I used everything that I had to try to conquer the world as fast as possible. So what I'm attempting to say is that the new changes are probably going to make bankruptcy part of my strategy, which is a permanent part of my strategy, you know, because it's ridiculous then. So these changes are ridiculous. What can I say? I'm never gonna sugarcoat it. I think they're bad. The changes are ridiculous, are bad, are totally uncalled for. It's the fruit of someone that or a group of people that doesn't like world conquest, doesn't play wide, likes to speed 5 and do nothing for extended periods of time, and they have nothing to do with the money. So they think, well, I have too much money, so come on, nerf it. So it's ridiculous, you know, just to let that be extremely clear. It's absolutely ridiculous, because, well, it's the effect of the effect of increased technology. You know, every time you increase your military tech, regiments become more expensive. That was increased by 100%. Then the increased production and increased trade efficiency from tech was nerfed by 60%. Those were very important because those were exempt of corruption, you know. Now, and were exempt of corruption, and you know, basically it was just a little bit minimal income that we grabbed, and that was also nerfed. The most province, okay, but this is a subject for some other time, not for this. I don't like the changes. The changes were totally uncalled for. Like I said, made by some people that don't like world conquest, don't like to play wide. They like to stare at the screen and play at speed 5 and do nothing for extended periods of time. It's gonna make the life for people that actually like to play the game harder, make the game sillier from a real life perspective. For example, so you occupy a country, you raise the provinces, you take everything they have, but you're not allowed to take their money. They have like 5,000 ducats, you're not allowed to take it. In real life, that was the first thing that people were looking for, gold. So amongst other stuff like slaves, but they were looking for gold. So it makes EU4 more silly, more fantasy ridden, but it is what it is. I have no saying. But enough with that. It won't stop me until I continue to think this game is interesting. I'll continue. If I wanted, I would do a world conquest faster than what I did. But I don't want to do that now. I just think it's silly. And you can quote me on that. Anyway, so let's focus on this. I mean, I was expecting just one last word. I was expecting a change, like when I saw in the patch notes of the money demands are now capped at 25% war score, and I said okay, that's fair. It's to stop people from not caring with coalitions. You know, okay, let's conquer and don't give a shit about coalitions. Okay, let's give them 10,000 ducats and they'll go away. Stop that. It would be understandable. But then I realized that they changed the way how... I mean, you can take maximum amount of money you can take from them is 5 war score. Is 25 war score, which translates into 5 loans. That's the maximum. So who the hell is gonna fight for 5 loans of say 10 development country? That incites even more total war and screws up the life of economies like the ones from the hordes that are already in very big shit. Okay, looks like I went for a coffee or something over here. Nope, alright. For example, in this campaign, I was always at with minus 40 ducats, minus 60, minus 100, minus 120 ducats the whole freaking time. The income from provinces is almost worthless, is almost irrelevant in the game already. I'm just waiting for the patch that will make that will turn provinces into sources of money loss after their court. They already are. Many provinces are already a source of how can I say it? They're useless, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. If it wasn't for the debased currency, the majority of the provinces that we take as a horde are absolutely useless, and they'll be useless basically until the end of the game. For the most part, with the exception of the ones in the trade company regions. The efficiency, production efficiency, and especially the production efficiency helped alleviate a bit. So I'm just waiting for the patch where the provinces will actually be a source of... After their cards, they'll give us negative income. I'm just waiting for that because that's the way where this game is going. I almost suggested it on the forums, but enough of that. Hello, Lund Giar. This strategy you use, can you get any achievements with it? Yes, you can. This is Iron Man. You can get, and the base strategy of this campaign was not patched. With the exception of that, give money to Tributary thingy. It's now impossible to... I mean, it's useless now because of the change. They can have like 10,000 ducats and you cannot... You can only demand like, what, 5 ducats from them or less. Say 5... Yeah, 5 ducats. You can... If you occupy them at 100%, you can demand 5 ducats from them. Despite having 10,000 ducats in the bank, for example. But that's not why I am against it, you know? That's why I started to say I never do these. Never do these. So I was expecting a change in the, like, you cannot give, just like other things, you cannot give gifts if you have loans. I was expecting something like that to prevent the abuse that I did. And not something like they did, which is, like I said, ridiculous, in my opinion. that would... The thing is that that doesn't slow down conquest at all. Doesn't slow me down. At least me, it doesn't slow me down. It just makes me think creatively. Oh, now I can bypass that stupid restriction, that stupid change. So that's why I talked about. That's why I talked about bankruptcy. So I never abused bankruptcy, I guess, since they're going after, I mean, provinces are absolute trash with the exception of debasing province, which is the only thing that basically makes them worthwhile when they're at 100 local autonomy, 100%. Apart from that, they would be absolute trash. So now they're even worse. It's even worse economically speaking, because we cannot take money from... I mean, there's a one province miner with 200 ducats. That helps. I've won, like, I don't know, many wars against one province miners. And at the end of the campaign, that's probably thousands of ducats. Now I can demand 5 ducats from each one of them. So maybe I'll just start strategizing with bankruptcy in mind. For example, you know. So it's gamey, it's something that I don't like. I'm not sure if I'll do it, but that's a possibility. When I saw the change, I came, oh, okay. I'm probably gonna have to think about becoming bankrupt to bypass all the restrictions, live on loans for a while, then go bankrupt, live on loans for a while again, then go bankrupt because the provinces are useless. We shouldn't have to do this. Anyway, so let's continue analyzing these. Are you playing a recording? Yes, I'm playing a recording. I'm seeing your messages. I'm gonna read them and reply them after reply to them after the stream ends. I'm sorry, I cannot focus on everything. And by the way, welcome. All right. I'm still trying to prevent Brunei from joining a coalition. It's important because I don't have a CB on them. And right now, I'm still trying to not waste admin on that. I mean, not spend, not waste. Waste is probably a too strong word. Too strong. I mean, I have other uses for the administrative points at this right now. I still... for tech and for ideas, so I'm trying to avoid as much as possible to break truces or to do no CBs. So that's why I'm trying to improve relations with them so that they won't join a coalition and give me in an attempt to give me enough time to go murder the dudes Uzbek all the way to Crimea. So Uzbek, No Guide, you know, Kazan, all those guys, Golden Horde or Great Horde, whatever they're called, Great Horde, and everyone else Muslim in that area, like small countries near Circassia, Kazimut, and so on. No, as far as I know, there's no way around that, Sioux King. It's a province modifier. If someone, if say I'm a horde, I'm gonna go raise a province. For some reason I lose that province or I gave it back. If someone tries to raise it next year, he won't be able to do it. Someone else. Hello, Camera, welcome. And Gallic Wolf, thanks for your feedback. Okay. I need to focus on this now, or my commentary won't be very helpful. Looks like I'm preparing to go kill another one of my tributaries. Probably they've allied someone that I'm gonna go attack, and well, that's the case. It's time for them to die. And I'm preparing to go attack Uzbek, and I'm gonna do it the moment I piss out the Oirats. I'll attack them. Finally, they've ceased to be a valid rival. One province minor or something along those lines finally stopped being a valid rival. Simply because he has a bunch of disloyal vassals. I mean, it's not because he has a disloyal vassals that he ceased to be a tributary. What I'm trying to say is that he had a bunch of vassals, and that with enough developments to actually, and regiments, actually be able to rival me, or for me to rival them. See, then there's these events. Here, Avid, have another 50% extra mercenary maintenance. Here, have another event that forfeits half a year of income, one entire year of income, and so on. On the other hand, they make the provinces useless, so yeah. But I don't want to turn this into a rant, so I'm gonna stop here. There are situations, just one more thing, there are situations in that the change will actually be beneficial. When someone doesn't have a single docket, sometimes it happens, and then you'll be able to actually demand up to 5 loans. Okay, that's beneficial, but that's marginal. Majority of the times they have hundreds of dockets that now are off limits, which is for no good reason at all, just because, well, I don't know, tell me, what was the reason? For example, in one of my last campaigns, I had a situation where I went after, I think it was Lubeck, and the guy had like 2,000 or 3,000 ducats, something like that, and I really needed that money, and I didn't kill him because of the money. I took all his money. I had a choice between taking all his money or kill him, and I actually took all the money instead of killing him. Now I can't do that. Again, for no good reason. Yeah, I know it's you, but they did to stop the coalition thingy. The only thing that they needed to do was to limit the war score to 25, and that's it. That would stop the coalition dodging in its tracks. But on top of it, they changed the way that money can be demanded, tying it to loans and putting the actual money in the bank off limits, making it putting it off limits. You know, you cannot demand the money that the guy has. You can only demand 5 loans. Okay, again, let's stop here. So, basically, at this point, there's not much to comment, to be honest. It's just, like I said, it's to take over India, become Hindu, kill people as fast as possible, acquire more land as fast as possible for raising purposes. To raise in order to grab tech and, I mean, everything, to expand the force limits. And at this point I remember thinking, around this point I remember thinking, okay, there we go, they're probably allied with Bengal and the truce with Bengal was about to end, so I had everything ready or almost ready to go murder Bengal just in case they wanted to join a coalition. My 20 years that I had to try to catch up with what I did with the Kyoto exploit are almost over. We're gonna end by 1474. By 1474, when I played that campaign where I used the Kyoto exploit, I had at the very least 200 regiments and artillery. I still don't have artillery, and I probably have like 120k, or I mean, I probably have like 100 men right now, give or take. Oh, I now have artillery. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. Okay, that's good, but I have like half the force limit. I just built my first cannons. But I kept going because I thought to myself, I'm going to play better. I'm gonna do better. I have less troops, but I played not very well when in that campaign. I don't think I played my best game, so I'm gonna do much better. I'm gonna micro these better, and so I still have a shot. I'm gonna take it, and you know the result. So right now I'm gonna start, or from this point on, since I just grabbed artillery, I'm gonna try to convert all my stacks to 10 artillery and 10 mercenary infantry. That's gonna take time because I have lots of regular infantry running around and I cannot simply disband them all. So I think I'm gonna disband a few of them, but it would be a gigantic waste to disband them all. But slowly, or rather fast actually, I'm gonna start converting everything to 20 artillery, to 10 artillery, 10 infantry, mercenary infantry. What does FUR means? It's the F word for rebels. Fuck you, rebels. So there, I said it. Okay, with artillery now, this is gonna go extremely. This is gonna go much more faster. This is gonna pick up some speed. As you can see, I already, not because of the artillery, it's because my force limit increased and I have more units, so I'm being able to win more wars in the same amount of time. Already have four dudes, 3 wars almost at 100%, and another one that will soon be at 100%. And I'm about to start another war. With the artillery is gonna make things go much faster. There we go, 110 force limit, give or take. 111. It's a little bit over half of what I had. When I played with the Kyoto exploit. I'm gonna start consolidating, yep. You spend the dudes against the rivals probably. And consolidate. Okay, that's the last money that they had, so I actually made him a vassal. That guy didn't need him, so dead. Should be about to enable the golden age. Because I think I grabbed my last vassal. Unless I was asleep and I already fired the golden age. But I doubt it. I think I have the 5th vassal. If that's the case, I should be enabling the golden age pretty soonish. Building more artillery. These guys, Bengal, are always annoying. Whenever I do this world conquest, the Bengal is usually very annoying. Always makes me happy when I see them going. When I see them going, being annexed, because they usually I mean, they're blocking my expansion into India always with their annoying forts and a bunch of strong allies. The thing with them having strong allies is that I'm gonna have to fight them and I won't be able to take anything from them. And on top of that, I'll have a truce which is gonna prevent me from attacking them or force me to break a truce. That's why I think they're annoying. So again, reorganizing the stocks into 10-10, or in this case into 5 infantry, 5 artillery, because there are lots of small level 1 forts around, and instead of sitting a 20 stack on top of a level 1 fort, I could sit splitting in half and go siege 2 level 1 forts, or a level 2 fort and a level 1, you know. Hello, Pelov 99. Yep. I've been trying to conquer the world in under 100 years for some time. I had that objective with the Kyoto exploit and actually missed it at the last moment. Now I made it. Okay, time to piss out this guy. I'm gonna... If I recall correctly, I am... Okay, this... The first video ended. This is continuation. Like I was saying, if I recall correctly... There will be a next... Let's see. And I'm gonna keep Mongolia. They're not annexed now, they'll be annexed after this war, but no, I'm gonna annex them. And Mongolia will become my vassal. Okay, now I see. Mongolia is the 5th vassal. There we go. Golden Age. I only had 4 vassals and I thought I had 5 a while ago. The Golden Age is gonna speed up things by quite a lot too, because it reduces all power costs by 10%. And on top of that, it gives extra 10% goods modifier, and above all, extra 10%. I mean, the most important one is the reduction in monarch points, all power costs, minus 10%. But then I really like the morale of armies, and of course, economically speaking, it's gonna give me slightly more money. How do you do that peace deal where you get a ton of land? Notice it in video 2 as well. It's called double peace. This was first discovered, if as far as I know, by Floriwari. Just Google double peace EU4 Floriwari. You'll see a video for sure, I think. Okay, look at these generals. This was what I was talking about. Army tradition should be quite high at this point, and yeah, the generals are becoming better. Better than Mongolian invasion, says Canberg 350. Alright, when there's no risk for the troops sieging, I usually detach everything from the cannons and just leave enough cannons to siege as fast as possible. No point suffering attrition if the units are safe. If there's the risk that they might get attacked while I'm not watching, then sure, I'll leave at least 5 infantry. But most of the times I'll leave the whole stack there. Alright, time to go beat up Uzbek. Looks like I'm still trying to organize the stacks. We're good to go. They've allied a bunch of people. So this is gonna be a pretty big war. And Beanie just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Thanks, Beanie. Piney. I'm sorry if I'm murdering the pronunciation. Thanks for the support. It helps me keep streaming. Hello, Accordion. Welcome. Bly 8. The guy who translated your timeline says thanks. Alright. He is welcome. And welcome. It's nice to see you here, Bly. I already recommended one of your videos here today, and I'm gonna post it there again. I think it's a great video, so I'm gonna post a link here for the assault. If you wanna know, if you want assault like a boss, this link is, watch that video. It's totally worth it. I mean, if you don't mind, already did it, but whatever. Anyway. So I'm using the prestige to placate the Mongolia, and then I'm gonna grab prestige from my tributaries to go back to 100 or close to 100 if I'm lucky. Usually I don't need to be that lucky, but once in a while, no one has prestige. This should be the time where I'm gonna start saving. Okay, there we go. What I wanted to do with Mongolia was to seize his land. So you see, I've annexed the Oirat in a double piece, and I've inherited a pretty big Mongolia. Or, I mean, Mongolia is not huge, no, nothing like that. But you see, the amount of land that I took from the Oirat, the deal is even better, because then I'm allowed to seize land from Mongolia even when I'm at war. So it makes it much better. So I'm gonna grab prestige, placate Mongolia, seize his land, and so on, until Mongolia is no longer, is just a one province minor. And then I'll Diplo annex him or something like that. I think I ended up doing a Diplo annexation. So in a very short amount of time, I got rid of the Oirat and Mongolia. Basically in one war. And Mongolia is still gonna help me with its regiment. At least to unsiege stuff. That's the maximum extent that I use the vassals, because they're so stupid that they're a liability. Even when they're trying to take stuff back, many times they end up stuck white because they're so stupid. But I decided to take the chance. So again, time to give, to grab manpower and manpower basically, and to make the tribes loyal again. You know, the drill is first, when it's time to remove the provinces, I have the maximum number of states stated, then I remove the provinces from the tribes. Then I unstate everything, give the provinces back to the tribes, and then I have to state stuff again, because I need the force limits basically. So I am doing this. If I didn't need the force limits, I wouldn't do this. That will barely give me any money. I mean, it does give me a bit of money, but if it wasn't for it's so negligible that if it wasn't for the need of the force limits, I wouldn't bother. Alright, looks like I have some... Actually, I may have to spend all that. I'm gonna... It's 1473. Soon I'll have the next idea group. So I guess I'm saving the Diplo for exploration ideas. After I have exploration ideas, every single point of Dip is gonna go to develop the institution, because I badly need it for a plan that I had to grab Tech 10, admin Tech 10, way ahead of time. So another dude bites the dust. Still taking exploration as the first idea. Yep. But it's just temporary. Not the first, it's the second. It's gonna be the second. It's just something that I'm gonna keep it like for just enough time to send the colonists out like 3 times or something along those lines. Or until I have enough admin to start taking up, to start grabbing ideas from the humanist idea group, whatever happens first. I apologize, Camera, But during this stream, I'm only taking questions about this run. So, talking about the money changes in 1.25 was an exception. It's because, well, or else I'll be talking about everything, but what I'm supposed to be doing, which is to comment this run. You know that whenever I'm playing, I try to reply to everything, but that's not the case today. Sorry about that. So, like I said before, I need my units to move as fast as they possibly can, and the fleet is gonna have a huge, very important role with regard to that. The units move faster by sea than by land, so that's why I'm building. That's one of the reasons why I built a fleet. That's one of the reasons why I'm building more transports. Because I need to transport troops fast. Okay, I'm just gonna make a quick break there, quick stop over there to kill the zombies. Then I'll proceed probably to go after Afghanistan. Probably. So I just grabbed the truce with all of those guys that wanted to join a coalition over here. So this was really good that Uzbek had an alliance with so many countries, all of them willing to join a coalition. So this was really good. Well, that's it for the coalition. I mean, sure, they might join a coalition, but they won't pull the trigger. And after the wars are over, the only thing that I needed to do was to save and reload for the AI to get out of the coalitions. Not because it's an exploit or something, it's because when the AI sometimes falls asleep, and after restarting the game, it comes back to life and reevaluates everything, and then they leave the coalitions instantly if they're not strong enough to actually challenge the country that they coalitioned, you know. So when do you fight a challenging nation in this run? I mean, no nation was challenging. No nation is challenging. I start as, for example, if I start as Jiangsu, I can basically kill Ming in 20 years or 25 years. So no nation is challenging for me. And for the hordes, I don't know what to say. Just the challenge in this campaign is to race against the clock. It's to race many times against myself, and that's the challenging part. Beat up an AI like this it's easy because it's very predictable. If you pay attention, many times during this run, I just set some custom path where I think I'm gonna intercept some AI stack that's being annoying, and sometimes minutes after I set that custom path, I'm gonna actually intercept that stack and kill it. That's how predictable this AI is. So there goes one regiment. I told you that I needed. I took several risks here. I usually try to. And then keep in mind I had tech 7 here. These guys probably have tech 5 or tech 6 at the most. Most likely some of them are still at Tech 4, so it's a huge advantage over them. So, for example, if you see the tactics, I have tactics advantage over them, discipline, probably discipline advantage, morale advantage. So I went as fast as I could to win these wars. As usual, I'm always saying the same. I look like probably sound like a broken record, but okay, payback is a bitch. Time to wipe that guy, most likely. There we go. So, guess I'm not gonna say it was worth it, but the guy is stuck wiped, so I guess I came up on top. So it looks like I'm gonna either beat up Afghanistan or my truce with Baluchistan somehow is up. I'm not sure. Probably it's Afghanistan. I doubt my truce with Baluchistan is up. They probably aligned. There we go. The problem with keeping all these guys occupied for very long is that zombies might spawn, and that's annoying. So I was always worried with that. After the first 2 years, there's around 2 years, there's a pretty big chance that zombies will spawn. So that's a pretty big problem for double piece. You want to do a double piece. $1474. At this point, it's when I basically started expanding really fast or faster in the Kyoto exploit. I had, like I said, 200 regiments. I wonder how many regiments I had now. Probably 120, 130. So I was trailing behind, but like I said, I wanted to. I was determined to play better. To try to compensate. I really want to. Apparently, I want to speed up the conquest, speed up those wars, and so I want to ditch them, the opponents. That's why I was thinking about giving up on some tributary or vassal to tell them to go bug someone else. I don't think I'll do it in the end. At least I don't remember doing so. Or maybe I'll do a mix of war score, taking stuff from the occupying stuff and then just releasing a vassal, just for convenience. Because I'm one relationship above, right now, I'm one relationship above my limit. So it would be convenient for me to get rid of one of the vassals. I already have the golden age. That's probably what I was thinking at this point. And the rebels are starting to become very annoying. I only have one stack. very long traveling times. I'm expanding in India now. I'm expanding over here where the camera is focused. So, like I said, extremely long traveling times with just one stack. That's problematic. Sometimes I had to use the stacks that are supposed to be fighting the AI to kill rebels, but for the most part I tried to avoid it. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I wanna ditch one of these guys. Hello, Primitive AI, welcome. Good evening. So I ditched 2 vassals. I ditched the one in India because I want to eat it. It's India, I want it. This is a trade company region. So I ditched that guy. I don't really have any use for him. And I ditched the other guy too, simply because I didn't need him. If I recall correctly. I may be misremembering. Going extremely fast, and I'm sometimes reading the chat. So I'm not really that stupid. It's just I'm juggling my attention between these and the chat and trying to remember what I was thinking, and this is going at 3 times the normal speed almost. Is this a recording? Yes, it is, Primitive AI. Tributary banking still works in 1.25. No true pistols, says Accordion. So if it's not true pistols, it's by... Okay, I see. You make him a vassal. No. Oh, you demand... you demand... gifts? You can demand extra contribution. But that's slow. I'm not following. Okay, I'll... Alright. It has to be something else. And I haven't thought about... I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking of a way of conquering the world in under 100 years. Under 100 years. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in practice. But I'm not thinking of it too much. Maybe 1 year from now or something, or so if someone beats my record in the meantime, maybe I'll try to do it. Apart from that, I'm not very worried with the changes. Yep. Everything, with the exception of double piece, works still. Alright, thanks. Bye. Mark, why don't you conquer the world by November 12th, 1444, like I did with using console commands? Yeah, okay. If you think that's fun, fine. I don't think that very fun. It's not very fun for me, but like I usually say, to each his own. I think that's the expression in English. Alright, some more transports are ready. The fleet is becoming bigger. The amount of zombies is becoming problem. And I'm still waiting to declare on... Afghanistan for whatever reason. I'm sure I had a good reason for that, but at the moment I can't recall. So, using the fleet to move the stacks faster. Kill the zombies. Alright, I think... Let's check. Time for a cup of water. Excuse me. So again, the combat width is 22. With the combat width of 22, we just need to fill it. No point having a massive stack. Again, for example, the rebels could have 50,000. As long as you fill the combat width, and I mean, it helps to have some regiments in reserve, just in case you roll extremely poorly, like several 9s against 0s in a row. The rebels would of course win, but apart from extreme bad luck, as long as we fill the combat width, we don't need to fear the zombies. Under these circumstances, of course, we're a horde. We're fighting them in planes. We have an extra 25% shock, which, and with a good general, a very good general, I mean, you need to be extremely unlucky to lose against even 50,000 zombies. If the stack is just, say, 16,000, no point engaging with more than 18,000, because I don't have cavalry. If you have cavalry, then yeah, engage with extra 4 to do maximum damage. One important thing to do is to always shift consolidate for the battles. The reason why I sometimes don't do it it's because I'm probably using mercenaries and I'm in enemy territory. If I shift consolidate in enemy territory and I'm suffering attrition, I'm gonna lose the regiments. And that's a shit ton of micro. Sometimes I don't shift consolidate for that reason. But if the battle is very important, I'll just have to recruit more mercenaries. And I'll shift consolidate. Anyway. Annoying peasants. Not going away. Supposed to go away, sometimes they don't, so because this might be one of those times I'm engaging them and killing them. Because I need to get rid of the overextension. These are rebels from VJ. The peasants most of the times go home, go to the land of the country that they belong to. But sometimes they don't, so I was not willing to take any chances. Because that has like almost 20 development or along those lines. 17. That's a shit ton of overextension. So that's a weird question, don't you think, Sir Tribunal? Yeah, I like him. You know, I have nothing. I have some good stuff to say about him, but that's kind of weird question. Right, canceling the alliances because I'm trying to keep the truce pretty big, so it seems. Okay. Even these guys here are becoming pissed in the Philippines, which is troubling. What's the current song? I don't know. Let me check. This is from Europa Universalis Pre. The name should be Parabellum. I'm gonna give you the link. It starts at 16.40. Check this video at 16.40. That should be the one. Alright, let's continue commenting these. 1475. I ended up after fighting having to kill the tribesmen from Uzbek because, well, they would butcher the small stocks. Okay, I'm at war now with finally with Afghanistan. That put me at war with T-Rex. I call it T-Rex. Transoxiana, whatever they're called. Nicknamed them as T-Rex. Still trying to keep these guys out of the coalition, but this is all gonna change the moment I have exploration ideas. More zombies. The moment I have exploration ideas, I'm gonna grab CBs against him, and they're gonna be wiped off the map in so quickly, but so quickly. Because I'm gonna culture shift and I'll core in 8 months. So one day they'll be on the map, the next day they'll be gone. Almost all of them. Yeah, let's go. No point sending these dudes along, because if they remain in one of our cores without fighting, they'll reinforce at 100 dudes per regiment per month, so... I don't give a damn if I siege with infantry or cannons. It's what I have at hand. I'll use to carpet siege if there's no danger of them being killed. I carpet siege with cannons. I don't have the luxury of having some dedicated stacks to do the carpet sieging, so whatever I have at hand, it's what I use to siege. Then in the end I'll just merge the stack together again. Of course, if there's a danger of them being killed, very big danger, then no, of course I'll use infantry. I'm way above my leader's limit, but the stacks are increasing, the amount of stacks are increasing, so I kind of need them. I'm not gonna do anything special with the Australian colony cycling. The Australian colony is gonna be very important, but just for a very brief period, because I'm gonna have to move the capital there right very near the end of the game, but I'm gonna move the capital instantly out of there. So although it has an important role, it's very brief. And that's one of the situations where I screwed up. I instantly moved the capital to the new world when I should have waited one day for one of my colonial nations to take the overextension. I forgot to do it, so I ended up with 60 or 70. Actually, at that point I had like over 100 overextension. I could get rid of the majority of the overextension. I still ended up but I still ended up with a lot of overextension that I really don't needed, which increased my stability cost and increased the national unrest. So that was a very big mistake. Like I said, I was near the end and I was gonna achieve the objective and even improve it. So I guess I could have save scummed, but I didn't, so it is what it is. Maybe next time I'll do better. So again, using the fleet to send the stacks to go after the zombies. Over here, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use one of the stacks that I'm using to fight the AI, because those lands are not cored, if I recall correctly, or are they? I seem to recall that one of them was not cored. A few of them. So that cannot wait. Why didn't you farm Manchu? I didn't farm Manchu. Let me see if I remember the reason. Okay, the advantage of farming Manchu is that it removes the separatism, and it gives the ruler extra 10% for life, extra % morale of armies, I think, if I recall correctly. Maybe I'm misremembering, but at least it removes the separatism and adds and resets the opinion of everyone around me, at least for a few days. But I had no use for any of that, and I mean, the local autonomy, the separatism would be nice, but many of those guys were my tributaries. So I had to select between keeping the tributaries or so I ended up selecting keeping the tributaries. I didn't miss on a lot of stuff. Then later it didn't make any sense whatsoever to form Manchu. And like you said, it would move the capital and would completely screw up the trade companies. And what was really a major priority was to form the Golden Horde. That was the major priority, as we've talked about. So all the entire game I was losing between 40 to 120 ducats the whole freaking time. When I move the capital to finally to Europe, I'll actually enjoy some financial... I mean, the financial struggle won't be as hard, but then the force limit increases. Of course, I build more units, and then I'll struggle again with lack of money. As if we needed more nerfs, even more struggle. Do you remember how far ahead you got Tech 7? Tech 7 was actually delayed. With all the coring and the ideas. And I don't think I don't have Tech 7. I have Tech 7 in probably in Diplo and military, but I don't have admin Tech 7, so I took it with not many years ahead of time, if at all. What I took way ahead of time was Tech 10. That was the priority. I had to take Tech 10 way ahead of time. Tech 7 could wait just a little bit, no problemo. Because the final idea, the most important one, is at the end of the humanist idea group. So I thought I could make up for the... Even if I took it like 1 or 2 years later than I should, it wouldn't be a gigantic problem. Because of what I've just said, the most important idea is at the end of the idea group. We're starting to leave the coalition.
Marcos roll 0.
Hello, Shotseed. Thanks for subscribing. 6 months in a row. Thanks, man. Okay, this deserves to be slowed down slightly. This is, you see, this is this is too fast. Just for us to check what was the percentage of. There we go. Confusion 37.8, and we're really very close to becoming Hindu. 31.6 against, it was 37, something similar. So we're getting close, very close to becoming Hindu. And that's extremely important. That's gonna be extremely important. That's an extra 10% reduction in coring cost and coring time. 8 regiments above the force limit, now 7. Hindu hype says killing. Yep. So. Okay, those guys are dead. Again, I was checking the terrain, it was steppes, so I decided to go ahead and engage them, even though I didn't have at 22 regiments and was not at full morale. I ditched those guys because I was above the force limit and hemorrhaging money. So I roll a bunch of generals and get rid of the worst ones. That was just 3 manpower. I usually don't take it because it requires ducats, but this time around I probably still need to build more artillery or something. That's why I took it. So I really needed the manpower. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, because I have all these mercenaries here. These 24 mercenaries, this is going to be converted to sieging stacks with artillery. Time to annex those guys. This was great. It really helps. It really helps, at least with Brunei. I was like, I have a shit ton of rebels coming my way. Let's just leave one dude here to grab the land back. The tributaries are also helping, so no point carpet sieging the provinces occupied by rebels. Carpet, I mean, to carpet those provinces, no point. Most of them are useless economically speaking, so why tie up the regiments? One is enough. Lots of zombies. This was the most annoying part of the campaign, was dealing with the zombies. Responsible for probably around 40% of the cliques. You know, this is that and stating, increasing the local autonomy, all because of the zombies. I had forgotten about Ceylon. Those two provinces were occupied by rebels and not court. I forgot about them. Anyway, the video just ended. And I feel like commenting a bit more. So I'm gonna comment for a little bit more. I'm gonna open up another video. Give me a moment. I had hundreds of videos, probably more than that. Some 5 minutes, others half an hour, others 1 minute, others 30 seconds. You know, I had to join them all in 1 hour videos so that they can be viewable. But like I was saying, big majority of the work, a big part of the time that I needed, real life time needed, that I needed, that was because of the rebels. Increasing the local autonomy, stating, fighting the zombies, checking the rebel factions. And that's not fun, that's just work, unpaid work. What's fun is fighting the AI. You know, checking the alliances to see how should I attack or who should I attack. At least for me. But it is what it is. Did you save before double piece deal? Nope. Why are you asking? I got used to doing the double piece deals. I got used to it. I was, in the early days, I was very afraid that I could click an army or something, but then I got used to it. And then, basically, I'm extra careful when I'm clicking, so that I don't fuck up. The only thing that worried me is that the game might, you know, the saves become corrupted, but then there's backup. I've lost a couple of campaigns that way, where there were backups. Okay, these are absolute shit, these lands, pre-developments, and I'm gonna take forever to core them. When I say forever, it's right now it's 19 months. I'm coring in 19 months. It's more than enough time for the zombies to spawn, so to try to prevent them from spawning before the core is done, which is the most important thing, get rid of the overextension. I've just increased the local autonomy. Because the chances were very high that the zombies would spawn before the coring was done. Which of course would be bad, because then, just like in Ceylon, the provinces would be occupied until I sent a stack there to murder the zombies. And that's very, very counterproductive. There we go. We have CB against Kazan that I'm gonna take advantage of and attack them, because Kazan is also willing to join a coalition. As you could see there, I gave priority to the zombies in the south because they're occupying provinces that are not yet cored. The ones that are sieging the fort, that fort is cored, so it has less priority. I'm using 5 stacks now, or a little bit smaller, but still. I was using 5 stacks because I was afraid that they might run into some opposition. Then probably I remembered that T-Rex had almost 20 regiments over here. So, well, I thought, well, it should be safe to go siege them up with a couple of regiments at each province. When I engage them in tough terrain, I'm doing it because I have a huge advantage of morale and discipline and tactics and general, much better general, because and I might still lose, but I decided to take the chance. Why? Because I want to piss them out as soon as possible, and I need, for that to happen, I need to kill their armies. So that was my chance of actually catching them, even if it was in less than optimal circumstances. I was in the hopes that they could retreat nearby. Is it better to kill rebels and get military ideas, or to try to negate them with... What? Don't understand the question. Or try to negate him. Oh, okay, with minus years of separatism and revolt risk. I mean, it depends on the goal of your campaign. Basically, it depends on the goal of your campaign. If the goal of your campaign is to world conquest, then it's way better to go humanist to reduce the unrest. There's no doubt about it in my mind. You know why? Because especially in when you conquer very fast, if you don't have humanist ideas, what means that every 10 years you're gonna have to fight the whole world of rebels. If you think that's fun, unless of course you're Byzantium, who has a shit ton of tolerance and a very high conversion strength, then yeah, you might get away with it if you don't conquer very fast. But under these circumstances, it's just too much to handle, in my opinion. Too damn annoying. So every 10 years you would be fighting the whole world, basically, but with overpowered rebels. Anyway, I need to take a very short break. I'll leave this running. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry to keep you waiting. The zombies are about to take that fort, it's always annoying. That's why I many times think if I should get rid of the forts right away. Because if I don't have a stack to engage the zombies and they get very lucky with the rolls, the siege rolls, they'll take the fort. Or I can react, and that ties up my stack for longer. It's better that they take that we don't have any forts. So they take the provinces and that's it. Then we kill them and we need only 30 days to take the provinces back. Instead of up to sometimes years. If we're unlucky enough, it might take years to take the bloody fort back. It's better to have better troops and kill rebel stacks or lower revolt risk. Like I said before, lower revolt risk by far. In my opinion, but that's just me. If you want to do a world conquest, unless you really love to do whack-a-mole and fight zombies, then yeah. You don't love them. It's better to have lower revolt risk by far. Hello, Aldune. And the mysterious 98, hello. Glad to have you guys here. Thanks for the kind for the kind words. I'm glad you liked it, mysterious 98. Sorry, have you done a Hearts of Iron 3 speedrun? I remember a Hearts of Iron speedrun, but I don't remember whether it was 3 or 4. I did the speedrun for both of them, but no one was taking notice of the results. I mean, no one was taking notice of the times for Hearts of Iron 3, but no one was conquering the world the way that I did before I showed people how to do it, so I guess I should still have the record. I'm not sure, but no one was taking that notice of that. For Hearts of Iron 4, yeah, I don't know who conquered it fast because I don't play that game for 2 years now, but at that point I probably was the one that conquered the world faster with Germany, like 2 years ago. I don't know if anyone keeps track of those times, but yeah, I did several speedruns for both games. Hearts of Iron 3, I've conquered the world by 1938, before 1939 the world was conquered. With Germany in Hearts of Iron 4, I was trying to do more or less the same, but failed by 6 months. If I wanted to do it again, I would improve the time, but I didn't bother. I just capped at Diplo. Hopefully it is harder now in Hearts of Iron 4. Says Aldune. I don't know. Probably it's it's not. I'm not sure. I from the once in a while read the changes, and what's probably harder is to play with small countries. I mean, because of the way the manpower works now. It's easy to, okay, I don't want you to do this, so I'm gonna take the manpower away, so you won't be able to do it. That's basically how it works now. Not because the game has become better or because it's just they thought of a way to prevent people from doing some stuff. So more waiting, probably, but I don't want to talk too much about that because I don't play that game for around 2 years now. That's how much I care for that at this point, but it's becoming better. I'm starting, like I said before, to feel the itch to play that game. Don't want to sound too harsh, but Hearts of Iron 4 was a real disappointment for me. Very low replayability and not as engaging as the previous one. So there we go. We have the first fort from Kazan has fallen. Unfortunately, Muscovy was also fighting them. So I won't be able to occupy them at 100%. June is saying Stellaris is now much harder now than in early patches. Well, I don't play that game for a very long time either. What do you think about the changes with regard to the... I know that I said that I wouldn't talk about anything else with the exception of this campaign, but there's not much going on at the moment, you know. I'm trying to spot interesting stuff to comment on, but it's almost always the same thing with this game. This game, at its core, it's not very complicated. It's not a very complex game. It's always the same thing for the most part. If I spot something interesting, I'll comment, like this one. So I had that event that wanted to remove a shit ton of manpower and give me unrest. So since I didn't want to lose the manpower, I just used it all in one province with regiments. Then I clicked the event. So I lost a few hundred manpower, if at most. But like I was saying, what do you think about the changes with regard to the faster than light movement? That's one of the things that I really enjoyed about Stellaris, was the ability to do multiple strategies based on different movement types, different movement speeds. It really increased the variables, the strategies that you could use. Now you just have one, and coincidentally it was the one that I liked the less. That was very restrictive, prevented exploration in some places because, well, you had to go through the territory of some dude that didn't want to give you access, so you were screwed. And oh, right. Aldun says that fortunately for you, you liked it. Okay, nice. Anyway, so this is Rebel Armageddon, the version Aishi Rebel Armageddon of the year 1477. So, trying to clear the zombies. Again, using the fleet to move fast. Since I was expecting, I had a good general, I actually did what you saw there just to save time. Enjoying a -2 penalty from landing and -1 from terrain. So that was a 3 penalty, but the general is simply amazing, and I guess it compensated for that. I don't know where this cavalry came from. I still don't know. Probably, I have no idea. I probably misclicked and recruited the cavalry. I don't know. I'm still wondering where the hell did that came from. To this day. Anyway. I think I kept it. Maybe if I review the video, maybe I'll have a clue. So, the amount of resources that I'm using to fight these rebels, and that's taking everything. I've been doing everything that I could to prevent the zombies from spawning. And that's already slowing me down. Tying up at around 40% of my force limit, give or take, to fight the zombies. Now imagine this happening all over the freaking place every 10 years, but not localized to India, everywhere. That's what we're talking about if you don't have humanist ideas. I'm having zombies over here because I didn't increase the local autonomy. In some places I didn't have the time to increase it. Other places is because of the zombie sentiment event, this one that I cannot click, because if I click it, the next day I would probably have another one. The higher the overextension, the higher the likelihood of this event popping again, so I keep it open to prevent it from popping up the next day. And I'm not exaggerating. I could be exaggerating, but I'm not. At higher overextensions, it's like I click the bloody event today, the next day or the day after that, it's gonna pop. At 600, 700, 800 overextension, it's guaranteed. This was a mistake. I'm fighting these guys without a general. Maybe the guy died or something. Probably it was a mistake. One that I didn't make many times. See the chat? Right. I guess I'm audio and of course everyone that's watching and hearing me. I'm letting the games mature a bit more, so Paradox might take a while, but usually their games become very good. I mean, I'm not saying that they were not already very good when they were released, but at least Hearts of Iron 3 by Hearts of Iron 4 by comparison with the predecessor had very low replayability, so I played it for 500 hours or something and got bored until this day. 2 years have passed, so in the meantime they've improved the game, and I've been willing to try to play it again. Maybe I'll do it in 1.5, I'm not sure yet. Same thing with Stellaris. Stellaris was really fun, really good. I really liked it when I started playing it. But then the replayability was really low, and well, I got bored because replayability has nothing, for me at least, is way lower than EU4. there's no comparison. Maybe that's just me. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the hours that I played both games. I enjoyed them, or else I would never play them. So this ruler had two very good traits and ended up with another one that's not terrible, but it's nothing to be happy about. Minus 20% advisor's cost. It's helpful, but nowhere near the relevance that the other two traits have, like the local autonomy reduction and tolerance of Edens, and I think heretics too. So the priority goes to unsiege the provinces that are not yet cored over there. Needless to say that this slowed me down. This made me waste time. Same thing over there with those zombies from Uzbek, probably Kazakhstan. Kazaki, yep. But I think this was the... You know, this is because I don't have humanist ideas. This is because I don't have humanist ideas. Only because I don't have humanist ideas. That's gonna change in a couple of years or so. And that's with all the work that, like I've mentioned before, increase the local autonomy, state the provinces to use the edict, the feudal de jure to reduce the unrest by another 5. The zombies still spawn. And this is especially problematic when we snake like this. You see, the connection to my capital. I only have a connection to my capital. Only one province assures a connection to my capital, like a snake, up to near Kazan. So if the rebels occupy one of those provinces, the connection is lost, and I won't be able to core the provinces from Kazan until I can retake the provinces. So really annoying. But I guess I'm about to link from India. These days people think $500 for the price point is worth the value. Yeah, for most games it is. For most games it is, you have to be honest. But at least for me, but for a person that's used to a game like EU4 where I'm clocking now at 8,000, then you play Stellaris and you got bored before reaching the 200 hours mark, or you know, there's something there that's not exactly the same thing, you know, at least again for me. For other people it might be different. Again, with that said, they were both very fun games when I played them for the first time, but then got bored quickly. That's the problem. Hearts of Iron 3, I played it for thousands of hours too. I'm not sure how many, but because I was not... This is gonna be an interesting battle. An interesting battle. If I recall correctly, I'm gonna win that battle. 9 against 3 with the reinforcement from my vassal. That's gonna arrive late. I'm still gonna win this battle. That's how much my troops are, how good my troops are at the moment. I took, remember, I took Tech 7 ahead of time. And again, at war with Bahmanis. The truce was up. You won't see any of these later when I have humanist ideas. This was the most problematic time with rebels that I had. But looks like we're almost over it. There we go. Tech 7. Finally. Freaking finally. So we have a colonist. Like I said, I'm gonna use the colonists to send the dudes to grab me some CVs and to start my first and only colony that I actually finish. Colony that I start and finish, because I'm gonna finish other colonies, but because I'm gonna grab them near the when they're almost done by seizing them from the AI. So I have the apparently I still don't want to send the dudes because yeah, I don't have conquistadors. I need conquistadors to explore the places that need to be that need to be explored. Australia. I was thinking if this was worth it. It would be worth it to grab the third idea to extend the colonial range. Hello, Murdoch. Hello, Legiu. Welcome. Legiu. If I for some reason don't reply to your message, to your question on the chat multiple times, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm blind. Sometimes I don't see it. So tag me, put my name on the message. Maybe I'll see it next time. Don't give up. So, finally I'm sending the colonist, or so it seems. Not yet. It's because I don't have free troops. Or I need this, yeah, I need to extend the colonial range. That's what I was looking for. Like I always usually say, I'm in my streams, I like long sessions because I keep the train of thought. Right now I'm commenting these. I know the general strategy and I know what were the objectives, but at that specific moment in time, sometimes I'm not sure what I was thinking about. It could be one of a couple of things. Stack is complete again, so let's send them to go beat up Janzu. The truce is about to end. It's gonna end 1 year or so, or more than 1 year from now, but not much more. I have nothing for them to do, so it's too soon to go beat up Muscovy. I don't wanna grab aggressive expansion with Muscovy before getting everything in order with the Muslims, which is to say, before I kill them all or grab a truce with all of them. So I don't want to go beat up Muscovy because of that. It's important because I want to move my capital to Europe. And before I do that, I need to make sure that the people, lots of people are gonna see me. The moment I move the capital to Europe, everyone and their mothers is gonna see me, unless he's covered by terra incognita. So I need to make sure that when I do that, no coalition will form. The only way to make sure, again, is to grab truces with all of them or to kill them all. So the Muslims we have new foreign. They control a big chunk of Asia and Africa. So we have lots of them. So lots of people are getting, as we have hundreds of aggressive expansion. Some of them thousands. We'll have thousands of aggressive expansion. And I don't want them joining a coalition. That's the reason why. For example, I won't engage Muscovy. The priority, apart from that, I'm still prioritizing to go conquer the trade company regions. Doesn't make much sense to move the capital to Europe if I don't control the regions that are more profitable. All the regions that are where I can create trade companies. You play okay for a blind guy. Thanks, okay. I don't like to joke with those things, unfortunately, but right. I use it as a figure of speech. I guess it's my fault. Oh, finally the colonist has arrived. We have a CB, so the fleet is probably already nearby. Time to go. Say hello to probably the guys that joined the coalition in the first place, or against someone that will call them into the war. To try to dismantle the coalition. Yep. That's what I'm looking. I mean, this coalition will dissolve the moment I piss out. If I restarted the game, the coalition would probably dissolve, but there's no reason for that. I can just do these and get it over with. That was the first CB, second one against Brunei. And one after the other, eradicate them all, so that they don't annoy me with silly coalitions. Hello, so this streamer, it's very hard for me to say your name, I'm sorry. Anyway, welcome. So at this point it was already profitable to use the debased currency mechanic, so I had plenty of local autonomy, plenty of development. I'm still struggling with money, so having a little bit of corruption. It's not the end of the world, actually. After I grab all the needed ideas, I'm actually gonna take corruption on purpose, at least once or twice, or a bit more than that. A single stock is enough to deal with these guys. I mean, I could use another one, but I don't have it. So one, when properly managed, is enough to deal with these small countries. Do you take lands from no co-belligerents? Yes, I do. The game lets me take it. I'll take it. No problemo. The aggressive expansion in this game, for the most part, it was just a number. In all my games, actually, the aggressive expansion is only a number. If we play well, if we know what we were doing with regard to how to avoid the coalitions, aggressive expansion is always just a number. Doesn't matter if the guy has 51 or 1000. What we need to do is to anticipate the moves, and you see they are already dropping out of the coalition, and that will always be able to duck coalitions. You can watch my videos. It's extremely rare that a coalition declares on me. It's so freaking rare that it probably only happened once in all the hours that I have in EU4, and I'm known for conquering the world extremely fast. So make up what you will from what I've just said. This is annoying. I don't have any regiment nearby to go kill that regiment. That's preventing one province from coring. But those are only most of them are only 3 development, so it's not the end of the world. It's still annoying. You see, while I left like 3 cannons or something along those lines, or 4 to siege that fort, I used the rest of the stock to go after Sulu. And once the siege is finished, I'll use the cannons to go finish the siege faster if I need it. Could you do what you do in a multiplayer game? I probably got first, unless it was a friendly multiplayer, everyone would gang up on me for sure. I don't know. Second, I would be banned because that's not allowed. So I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Just saying. Yeah, and Aldion is saying something that's very important. I need to pause. So I'm not. My actions per minute are not very high. So yeah, either play at speed 1 or 2, or I need to pause. That's one of the reasons why I don't play multiplayer. in Hearts of Iron 3, the most multiplayers were played at speed 1, and that's too much for me because it's like watching paint dry. So my speed at Hearts of Iron 3, playing in single player, was early game like speed 5, very early game, and pauses when the units arrived at the destination. Then when I had to micro things manually, I did it at speeds. Sometimes I used speed 1, but it was very rare. But I paused a lot, so I cannot... It's very difficult for me to play these games without pausing, so... That's not allowed in multiplayer games. I guess I would adapt, but I would not be playing at my best. That's why I said a few times for Hearts of Iron, when people asked, invited me for multiplayers, I said, okay, if we agree upon playing at speed 3 for the game and use AI to control the armies, I'll do it. If we have to play at speed 1, I can't play the whole campaign at speed 1. With that said, sometimes it's in very difficult wars I had to actually reduce the speed a lot to control things manually. But it was just for a few hours instead of days. Excuse me. Should be reaching the end of this video. Tomorrow I'll stream some more. Yep, you have a few more minutes. So, sorry, I was reading the chat. Just got rid of more overextension. As usual, I'm probably gonna wait for the zombies to go away, the rebel factions. I was just worried with Muscovy. The only thing that worried me was Muscovy, nothing else. So that's why I was checking the coalition to see if I saw Muscovy there. Didn't wait for the zombies, factions to go down. Probably because most of them would probably not go down due to not having humanist ideas, still having unrest almost everywhere. I had to balance things here because if I kept increasing the local autonomy before coring the provinces, I would be making them useless. And the thing that I really needed was force limits. One of the things that I really needed was more force limits. So I had to endure more rebels probably than what I wanted, because I was not coring fast enough at this point to be able to core the provinces before the rebels spawned, and therefore I would be able to increase the local autonomy, increase the local autonomy, enable the edict, not have to fight the zombies. But in some of those places I was not coring fast enough, and I opted to let the zombies spawn and not increase the local autonomy because I needed the force limits. That's a problem. That problem is gonna go away when I start coring with 7 months. Because I will always be able to core before the zombies spawn. Excuse me. So the colonist is going to Borneo. That's, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but that should be the last. And yeah, it's the end of the video. We'll continue commenting these tomorrow. We'll continue seeing these tomorrow. This is going very fast, so I hope this commentary makes things more interesting for you. And I never did this before, and it's very boring to be commenting these when if I'm on my own. If I have 50, like today, I have 50 people, 60 people watching me and asking questions. The time it's like I'm with friends, you know. We talk about this and talk about that, and the time goes by faster. I don't even notice it. I don't even notice it because I'm having a good time. If I'm alone commenting the videos, it's extremely boring and I cannot stand it. That's why yesterday I was a bit, I wouldn't say disheartened, but it was boring for me to comment and there's almost no interaction. So I think today was good. We had lots of questions, lots of interaction, lots of people watching and keeping me company, which makes this easier for me, and I hope it and more interesting for me, and hopefully the same can be said about you. So if you enjoyed it, come back tomorrow. I'll be here for another stream, more or less at the same time. So see you guys soon. Take care, and thanks again.